Hi to all. Modular fourth, and in modular fourth there are some introduction to basic economics and interest and time value of money and comparison of alternatives. We have to discuss these concepts. We will start introduction to basic economics. Okay, so what is economic? Economic is the science that deals with the production and the consumptions of goods and services and the distribution and rendering of these for human welfare. Some economic goals are consist that is nothing but the a high level of employment, price stability, efficiency and equitable distribution of income and growth. Okay, and next one is some basic economic problems are having. So first one is allocation of resources. So in these cases, allocation of resources, requirements of an individual's business firm or the government for exceeds the resources available to satisfy these needs. So with the scarce resources, a choice has to made regarding which all one should be satisfied. This allocation of a source has a different objectives in different countries. Second one is distribution of goods. Okay, distribution of goods is after the goods are produced, the questions arises as to who is going to be receive these and what proportions. And next one is by what methods are goods produced. Goods are produced in a various ways. For example, agriculture goods can be produced by using more of a labors and a less capital, or a more capital and less of a labors. When the farmer is used to, it is known as a labor intensive method, while the latter is known as a capital intensive method. Next problem is utilization of resources. The next questions is, are the resources of the country such as the men, material and money fully utilized, or are they underutilized? This leads us to the questions of employment resources. When the resources remain unutilized, goods and services do not get to produce, the cost of which is a very use of for the society to hear. The resources should not only be put to use but also efficient utilization of these necessary. Next one is consumption. Consumption is nothing but the consumption means the uses of resources are well in order to satisfy one's needs. It means destruction of resources by human beings. Next one is production. In these cases, consumption is only possible when there is a production, as a consumption is a destruction of utilizers. Similarly, production is the creations of utilizers to satisfy human wants. Production is possible by the combination of four factors: land, labor, capital and organization. Next problem is exchange and distribution. In these cases, what will happen? Distributions of a national income among various factors of a production. The land owners get rent, laborers get wages, suppliers of money get rate of interest and organizers get profit. Next problem is money and banking. So in these cases, money is gently accepted by all as a means of a payment, medium exchanges, defer payment and stores of all values. Next problem is modern economy is based on a money economy. Economic activities are measured in terms of a money. Bank is the financial institute that they accept the money in the form of deposit and lends it for productive purposes. Next problem is international trades. In these cases, international trade, what will happen when the nation trade among themselves, it denoted as an international trade. No country can produce all the commodities it requires, so in order to satisfy the various needs, a large number of items are depending on international traders. Okay, next concept is principle of engineering economic. So in these cases, first principle what will tell? First one is develop the alternatives. So the choice is among the alternatives. The alternatives are to be identified and then defined for a subsequent analysis. A decision situation involves making a choice among two or more alternatives. Developing and defining alternatives for direct evaluation is important because of the resulting impact on the quality of the decision. Second principle is focus on the differences. Only the difference in expected future outcomes among the alternatives is relevant to their comparison and should be considered when making the decision. If all prospective outcomes of the feasible alternatives were exactly the same, then there would be no basis or no need for comparison. We would be indifferent to the alternatives and make a decision on the basis of random selection. Next principle is use a consistent viewpoint.